Testing. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be working on this. We're finishing this video right now, and then we're going to be doing some game dev stuff if we can finish that in time. That's too much light. I thought I'd stream now because I might as well be doing this. I'm kind of in the final push of finishing this video. It's the I'll kind of wait for other people to arrive before I go into it though. I'm going to kind of test my audio out on the side. Alright, sounds good. Okay, so I think I'm just going to do this by playing the audio out loud. So this is like a video series I'm working on, and it's going to be called Emoji Popcast, which is also the name of this Twitch account. And the point of each video, I'm going to be releasing 2 videos a week on Tuesday and Thursdays. And let me just also post this in the Discord. Hello to everyone watching. I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now. Alright, so yeah, the point of these videos that I'm working on are I'm going to release them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're like going to be in like little episodes, and each video is going to be kind of delving into some aspect of mobile game design. And I'm going to be drawing heavily from like the Facebook group that we started for mobile game development, but also try to expand on that. So I'll just kind of play it and see how this goes. Hey, welcome to the first episode of the Emoji Popcast. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan, and I'm a mobile game developer working on my own right now. Ever since I was in high school, I was obsessed with the design of casual mobile games. I went to UC Santa Cruz to learn how to make them, and while I was there, I ended up making my first mobile puzzle game called Numbo Jumbo. The game got a lot of downloads, but we didn't really make any money off of it, so after that, I got a job at a mobile game developer company in San Francisco. While I was there, I learned an insane amount about mobile game design and development. Looking back at my first game, I realized so many mistakes that I made. It showed me how deep the possibilities of this space are. So in these Emoji Popcasts, my plan is to kind of each one delve a little bit into the world of mobile game design. That could include playing and reviewing and analyzing popular games on the market today. But some of my favorite games to play are indie mobile games. I actually started a Facebook group recently in which indie mobile game developers and fans can get together and communicate and give feedback and promote their games. So on this channel, I want to play every game that people send me and kind of discuss the more interesting ones, or the ones that do things differently, or give feedback to the ones that might need a little bit of exploration. I also have a lot of opinions about the space, so I'll be kind of sharing those in individual videos. For example, one topic that I spend a lot of my time thinking about is how to create long-term value for players. Looking back at my first game, Numbo Jumbo, I realized that that was my big mistake back then. Everyone told us that the gameplay was so fun, so we thought we were kind of finished, but obviously in hindsight I realized that mobile games are not just about a gameplay system. That's what PC console games are about. Mobile games are about a gameplay system that serves as the core for a larger treadmill of progress which players can tap into in the idle moments of their lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share. Books on mobile. Hey, what's up, Kessels? Any news on anything going on with your pitch you're working on, or any of the art or coding you're receiving for Undead Eatery? Feel free to share. But obviously, it makes sense that you're not always going to have something to share, but I'd be interested if anything's going on in your game. I'm just kind of working on this video right now. I'm trying to get it out. Not the moment. Cool. Yeah, so today I'm just kind of working on this video. I have these ideas for these emoji popcasts, and they're gonna be released Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube, and each one's gonna be kind of like about a certain topic in mobile game design, or a certain thing I'm thinking about, or a game, or something like that, you know. So I'm just kind of working on the first one right now. I have a little more stuff to add, but then I want to release it and get it out there, and then work on my game a little bit, or chat mobile game design with whoever wants to, or whatever you want to talk about. Yeah. Feel free to interrupt me or whenever.
The topic that I spend a lot of my time thinking about is how to create long-term value for players. Looking back at my first game, Numbo Jumbo, I realized that was my big mistake back then. Everyone told us that the gameplay was so fun, so we thought we were kind of finished, but obviously in hindsight I realized that mobile games are not just about a gameplay system. That's what PC console games are about. Mobile games are about a gameplay system that serves as the core for a larger treadmill.
Okay, so we need a couple like examples of other kinds of games that you can imagine serving as the gameplay system for like a mobile game. So I want a clip of like I want to get a clip of like a platformer like Mario or something. Mario. Let's do Mario Wii gameplay. Looking for a short video. All the videos are super long. Oh well. Second level. Cool. Okay, I got a video. I'm downloading it. Yeah, so I'm also planning on with my game. I'm planning on finishing these reward loops that I've been working on this week. But I definitely want to get this video out because they say it's good to get it out like around noon or something. These kinds of videos. And I want to release 2 a week, so that's going to be like I'm kind of shifting into this mindset of like trying to play all these mobile games on that group that we started, and just playing games more and stuff like that, and studying them. So I'm like moving into this mindset where I'm like trying to like keep thinking of new things to talk about and like pump out these videos. So I think it's going to be kind of a productive, I don't know, thing in my life. So I'm kind of excited for that. Okay. So usually when I'm editing these videos, I like go to YouTube and I find some clip I'm looking for, and I just download it as an MP4 and clip it as I'd like. So new Super Mario. Yeah, it's also wanted to just stream to just check in, and I didn't stream yesterday, so like even though I wasn't going to be working on GameDev right away, I figured I might as well check in and see if anyone has anything to talk about, or just to check in and say hi. So I have the video. One of my drives is dangerously low on memory, so I have to be really careful. Because if I fill up too much, then the stream will crash, I realized. Downloads. Let me check the YouTube chat as well. Got my eyes on that if you're watching on YouTube. Oh, second. Okay, so we got a clip of Mario. Oops. Don't want the audio. Kessel says, I have a new gaming expo in 2 months. A new gaming expo. Does that mean there's a new one, or you're going to a new one? I hope we can finish. Oh, okay. An exposition for your game. I hope we can finish multiplayer before that. Yeah, that would be really good. So what kind of expo is it? Do you mean like I'm going to a new one? Okay. Cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. That makes sense. That would be an important feature you want to show. Wow. Game development when it can be intense when you like put deadlines on that like that on yourself. Same as last one. Got it. Okay. Do you think you're gonna be able to do it? That'd be really cool if you can do that. I hope so. Sweet. I'm excited to hear how that goes. Keep us informed. Okay. I paid $600 to my dev to make amazing sheet for my game. Says Kessels. 2 months work. Okay. Sweet. $600, 2 months work. Yeah. Is it a remote worker, or is it someone that you're working with? It's not someone in person you're working with, right? Is it someone remote? Remote worker. Okay, got it. Yeah, that could be tough. I'd imagine. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that could be kind of tough. I feel. If like maybe it would be easier if you knew them and you saw them in person, like you could like hold them more accountable. But it makes sense that you're probably gonna be like checking their work regularly, so I'm sure you know what you're doing there. Interesting. More like a freelancer. Got it. Interesting. Yeah, I really like. I love game design, but I like the idea of like kind of overseeing other people working, and like putting people in positions, to lead themselves and stuff. That seems really fun and exciting to me. Hired him 11 times, so he's good. Okay, sweet. So this is someone you have like a working relationship with. That's really good. That sounds like they'll be motivated to pull it off for you. That's awesome. Interesting. Wow. Yes, you have a lot of experience making games. Is this your favorite game you've worked on in the past? Undead Eatery on Steam? Yes, sweet. That's good. That's exciting. I'm excited to make videos about it. This video I talk a bit in the second half about Mattman PS2's game. I talk about the idea of like translating gameplay from like Fall Guys into mobile, and how their game does it right and other games don't do it very well. So I'd love to make videos in the future whenever it's in a good state and you're ready to promote it and stuff.
System that serves as the core for a larger treadmill of
It's gonna be bigger.
progress, which players can tap.
And then the last one will be like a more mobile one after we tested multiplayer. Nice, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it seems like multiplayer is gonna be really awesome. Like, and I have no idea. Like, you have way better an idea than me, obviously. But like, I could imagine like the possibilities. Like, imagine whatever you do with multiplayer, you could like, I don't know. I could see it being really deep, and I could see something like you could just keep building on if you want to. Like, that seems like I'm really excited to play that feature and maybe like focus on that. It's like a good example of translating from like another genre and doing it in a new way. So that's exciting. So it will be November 13th. Cool. It's crazy that we're finally getting to the end of the year. November 13th. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna get a video of like, let me see if I have a video of like Candy Crush or something. Okay, here's a video of Candy Crush. Actually, I might already have it in here. Okay, don't have it in. So Kessels, what are you doing right now? Are you looking over things with the game, or are you watching something else? I'm just curious. I'd be curious to know what people are doing while they're watching the stream. Like, I'm curious, like when I stream game development and stuff like that. Like, I really want to know like what, because a lot of people watch game development, and do they watch game development while they're doing game development, or is that just something that they're listening to or playing games? Cool, okay, makes sense. I could see a lot of people playing games with that. That makes sense. Yeah, I just like getting into like the psychology of it. Like I have, because I have no idea, and that helps me out to know what people are doing. Most of the times I do game dev if I watch game dev. Okay, gotcha. Cool, that makes sense. That's really good to hear. That's interesting. I'm glad. I like playing games, and most likely making games yourself. I can see that being the biggest activities you're doing. Okay, so I'm showing that like in mobile games, it's not about just the gameplay. What's up, Madman PS2? Welcome back to the Emoji Podcast. I was working on this video, but I thought I'd just go live and just check in with you and Kessels and whoever else, and just see what's going on in your guys' games. Kessels was updating me about Not much going on, but just working on his November deadline for multiplayer. Kessel says playing games is only for 2 weeks. My break from GameDev. Cool. Enjoy it. 2 weeks, my break from GameDev. Makes sense. You gotta take those breaks. I've definitely been there. Is there anything new about Hexstars, Madman PS2? Anything going on? I'm pretty close to done with this video, I think. Gavin says always something going on with Hexstars. Totally makes sense. The new game mode is out now. Oh, sweet, new game mode. New skins, IDK, too much to keep track of. Makes sense. Android build way more optimized. Anything about, do you know when the Chinese, is the Chinese version live yet? I'm excited to know how that does in that new region. I'm pulling up Hexstars now. Ooh, I love the icon actually. This is different. I like it. The gold stands out. It makes it look valuable or something. Or Chinese version live, publisher making ads for it now, not being pushed yet. Sweet. Oh yeah, new icon. Bomb tag. Okay, that sounds fun. One sec. Madman says, been doing an update every 2 days during weekdays. Has been fun. Sweet. That's awesome. That rapid game development lifestyle. I probably need to get just a little farther to get that new game mode. Oops. Let's go. Alright, I screwed myself there. Oh man. Oops. Oh, you frozen screen froze. Screen share dropped. It does that sometimes. Thanks for letting me know. Unable to connect. I just have to restart it. Yeah, I'm not the most observant, so I'm glad you call that stuff out. I'm using software called Let's View, but sometimes it says Let's Not View. I thought my game froze. Didn't like that. That must have been alarming. Yeah. When I watch someone play my game, I'm always like, please don't have a bug. Please don't have a bug. So maybe you're feeling that same apprehension that I feel sometimes. Alright, almost done. Hopefully. When you said screen froze, I thought that my stream was frozen, and that's the worst because then I have to restart it. And so that's what I thought when you said that. Unluckiest player in the NFL. I like that mechanic. Oh. Oh my god. Oh no. Wow. So you're far enough along that bomb tag is already unlocked, just rotated in randomly. So that's actually, I knew that, and that's why I'm losing on purpose to get to that mode. Just kidding, I'm just not very good right now. Cool, good to know that it's unlocked. Yeah, after we were talking yesterday about reshuffling your obstacles, I thought that really made sense. Like, even more like the idea of the jetpack earlier, something like that. Like, that resonated with me more afterwards. Right. Alright. Wow. Oh, let's go. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh. That was an exciting finish. This isn't the newest version, says Mattman. Okay, it said it didn't have to update. That's weird. Oh, okay, now it says I can update. Yeah, you're right. That totally makes sense. The new icon would be there. Okay, let's go. I love the icon. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's continue. I'm going for that jetpack. I realized a better way I could have done that. Oh man. Oh my god. Check out the new zoom out RV on main screen. I want to hear your feedback on the new camera angle. Okay. The news. Oh, interesting. That's a really interesting advantage if that works how I'm thinking about it. Sorry for having you watch RV. Oh, no problem. Happy to help out, actually. I was just thinking about, yeah, like I could see the advantage that gives you. Like, that's really interesting. That's a pretty interesting idea. Oops. Oh my god. Yeah, so my only concern originally was that maybe it would make it harder to play the game and land accurately on the tiles, but I don't feel it's affected at all, so I totally see it as a huge advantage. Like, that's a really interesting idea. Oops. Like, because yeah, that's a huge advantage to see more of the board, because that's like the biggest danger is when you fall. Sometimes you'll get unlucky with where you fall, so this gives you like a little bit of advantage against that. So I can see players really registering that value. I really like that. I want to play it once more with more than one other competitor. I'm guessing that happens like every game session you get to watch that ad to do that or something. Wow. Yeah, it really changes things. I could see players really going after this. Oh wow, I like to. Oh no. No! It's waterproof for 15 minutes. Okay, cool, makes sense. I like that a lot. That's a really good idea. Bomb. Yeah, I really like that. Did you try moving it out further than that? Do you think you could, or does it get like too small on the screen? I was curious if there's any debate about that. But yeah, I think it's great. I could totally see people doing this. And then I feel like once I go back to the normal version, then I'll feel a lot more and be like, oh, I need to. People will get used to playing in this wider view, and I could see a lot of people just doing it all the time now that they're used to it. Yeah, I got a debug build that goes further. Yeah, I'd be curious. Maybe that's like an A/B test or something. I don't know. So there's a bomb there. I'm gonna try to hit it. Oh, it goes. Oh, so you don't want it. Now I completely understand. That's really interesting. I really like the idea of this mode. Oops. Oh my god. I'm excited to play that again. I like that it gives like a totally like same structure for the game, but twisted it in such a way using the bomb that it completely changes the dynamics. I think that's really smart. Yeah, this view could be the new normal, then RV could be even further out. Oh yeah, it totally makes sense. That could this is crazy. It might not work since you're implementing this as like a main thing, but you could also make that like a mechanic in a game mode or something where like the better you're doing, the more it zooms out. But I don't know if that would even align with some kind of rule set you could think of, but random thought. I like that I get to play it twice in a row. I don't know if that was random or not, because I definitely want to play it again after that. I like that I'm having to focus. It's challenging because you have to focus on different parts of the board than you usually ignore. Oh my god. So it's kind of hard to jump while I'm also like, oh, is the bomb over here? I'm trying to keep an eye on the bomb, you know? So I like that. That's a totally different tension. So that's the totally different frame of mind that I'm playing the game in. So I really like that. That free scan randomized on the top pop-up is new. and like a slot machine for skins, by the way. That new free skin on the pop-up is new. And a slot machine for skins. Oh, sweet. Let me check that out. Sweet. I could see most designers doing one forced and then doing random, but I thought it was really smart you did too. That's really awesome. Free skin randomize on that pop-up. I don't know which pop-up that's on. You can get 2 pop-ups at once. I didn't even think about that. Oh my god, that felt amazing. I love that. I didn't even consider that before for some reason. You can get the jetpack and the whirlwind at the same time, and you're just like a death spin, and that you can't fall, and anything that gets near you dies. That is really cool. That's like another kind of dynamic strategy that emerges that makes every gameplay experience different, replayability and big win moment. Nice work, Mama PS2, says Kessels. Nice. Free skin pop-up that occurs every other level. After this one on main screen, it will be there. Got it. This thing? Oh, maybe not, says Mattman PS2. Gotcha. Yeah, because that was the only skin-related thing I was seeing. $5,900. I like that. There's a really expensive one that looks really valuable. That looks awesome. Limited offer locked. Nice. So different categories. Same with hats. I like your buttons. Looks really good. Nice. clicky click buttons all day. Maybe it's every 3 levels. I don't remember. Okay, gotcha. Let me feel more. I really want to experiment more with the. Okay, so I can activate it with the jetpack as well. Oh man. Oh, stay alive. There we go. No big deal. It's just a new addition. That's cool for monetization. Yeah, I was curious about that. I like that monetization kind of stuff. Free skin. Okay, yeah. So you were actually. I remember you mentioning this before, actually. So you either equip it or you can randomize it. So I might randomize it. Yeah, I think the way you're using ads is really smart. I don't feel any negative sort of way with the way you use them lightly when they're forced, since you can skip them. Oh, and I got the same one. That's pretty funny. I like that effect though. And I like that you see the other stuff, and so you're probably more likely to randomize it again, kinda. That's cool. OMG, I didn't know you could get the same. That's pretty funny. Yeah. sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna put this away for now. Thanks for updating us on that. I really like the bomb level. Because like I said, yeah, totally new mindset. Totally different set of dynamics, different challenges, and it's all within the same skill set as well mechanically. So I think that was really smart. Oops. Oh, that mode is improved too. Tried to make it more obvious to go down. Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, the arrows. I think that's really smart. Oh, I love these arrows. Yes, you nailed it. That's exactly what is needed. Come on. Oh, no! Yes. And I won on the first one. I thought that was really smart to add those arrows. I think they worked really well. Sweet. Yeah, really smart. Yeah, look, the arrows in the background. Like, I see. Thanks for checking it out. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for showing me. I love thinking about this stuff. Like, I think it's good to get better game design. You need to expose yourself to like game development and stuff, and it can't just be your own game. You know, it's like thinking about all sorts of games. So it's really interesting to like look into your process a bit. I'm gonna play this bomb tag one more since it's the. I'm curious if I'm gonna get it. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna try to get it. Oh frick. Sweet. Yeah. Oh, is it off the screen? I don't know how long it was off the screen for, but I guess that is a sign to put it down for now. I want to get this video out hopefully before noon, and it's kind of about Hex Stars. The second half of it is. It's like Mattman says lots of small details that non-devs wouldn't notice, but they'll add it for a better experience. Exactly, and so like those like. Going through the process of nailing down those smaller details and like identifying them in other games and stuff like that, like that's like the real mastery, you know, level stuff. That's what makes you a really good developer, I think. And so like, yeah, I think having those conversations where we talk about those kinds of details is really important. And like in the industry, like they don't have those kinds of small detail conversations very often. Like. If they do, they're kind of about superficial things, you know, they're working within a framework that's handed down to them, you know, and like you're just making everything up on the spot, so you get to like fully maximize your potential, kind of. I always try to add more skins each update for returning users. Smart. Yeah, so I could see if players notice that there's always new skins, that's gonna be something on their mind to kind of get them to keep playing. I think it's really smart to be consistent. That's a good idea. Yeah, and so with my game Emoji Pop, I'm gonna do like a skin kind of thing as well. So I should definitely like take note of that point of doing regular updates. I could see that being a good motivator. So like I'm working on these videos. They're called Emoji Popcasts, and I'm doing 2 a week. And each one's like about a certain topic in mobile game development. And so this one. I'm kind of just introducing what these videos are about, and the second half of the video is about YouTube, FB, both. I don't know yet. It's going to be at least YouTube. I was thinking about formatting them in such a way that I could make like mini podcasts somewhere, or like on SoundCloud or Spotify or something, but I'm still thinking about that. But definitely YouTube. I think maybe just YouTube. But I'd link them through Facebook. Just because my YouTube videos won't get very many views if I'm not able to link them through Facebook. Like I used to get a lot more views on YouTube because I could advertise on Facebook, and I don't think it's really worth it for me to put these up on Facebook. So I'm thinking just YouTube for that reason. But yeah, this one is the way I talk about Madman PS2's game is in the context I used in the other video that I made. Look at Fall Guys. It's a trend. So how do we translate that gameplay into mobile gameplay? And I look at how some people do it, and they just directly copy Fall Guys, and they don't think about how it's not the best for mobile gameplay. the way they have it, they're just trying to translate the gameplay so it looks the same. And really what we need to be doing is what you did with your Hex Stars game, which is make it so that it's constantly engaging, moment to moment, like a good mobile action game should. And I talk about the gameplay and all of the great things about it. And I kind of say this is like a framework for how we make how we translate kind of gameplay experiences. I did get how you balance the time trying to make videos in GameDev. It's kind of your growth strategy, but I'd always want to work on my game. Yeah, so I was like working on my game for so long straight through that now like I see this video making stuff as kind of like a break. And I have most of my game set. I have a structure set up, and I don't know. It's a really good question that you pose. The way I see my game is like if I can get it to work right is that the social media side of the game will be almost as important as the actual game itself. So the game, one big appeal of it that I really want to push is the fact that you can make levels and share them over social media. And I want to make crazy tools so you can make crazy contraptions and stuff in your levels. And so for me, like videos about training players on how to make good levels, or videos about like levels that people are making, or learning game design in general and all this stuff, like attracting that kind of audience to me, and like having a community online that's sharing levels and indie game stuff and game dev stuff, like to me that is half of the appeal of the game of Emoji Pop if I can get to work right. And that's my approach as someone who's trying to avoid working with a publisher and just try to get organic growth of my own, even though that might be flawed, but it might work for me for like a little bit or something. And maybe it won't work, that's okay. It's like I could try it out at least and then go to a publisher and do other kind of more standard approaches after. But that's why I think that's why I try to split my time evenly between game dev and videos. Even though right now I'm like probably investing more into the videos than the game dev stuff. But I think I need to strike a better balance. But right now I'm just like I'm trying to like figure out how to even make these videos and format them in all these different ways and what my even strategy is. So I've been kind of just making videos and trying to like figure out what my whole identity is and all that stuff, and or the way they should look and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of my just that's just kind of my state of mind now about it all. But yeah, something I should be thinking about. But that's why I feel like okay spending video time in videos, because I'm like I think this is important, like this social media side. Whereas in Hexstars, I think that's a totally different game, and the games you're making, you're going through like you're getting ads and stuff like that, so you're getting players and you're making money off of them. Whereas me right now, I'm like I'm doing this weird thing like I acknowledge that what I'm doing is weird because I'm like I'm not even like making any money from the game or anything, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes I just go with my gut, you know. Something to think about. But yeah, it's nice to make videos because I really like making videos. Like I did the game dev stuff for like I just coded for every day for a while, and then I got kind of sick of it. So this is like a good palette cleanser, I think, as well. Why not just test RV spot on your game now? I don't think I have like enough players even to make that worthwhile, right? Also, I don't think I know exactly what RV means. I was assuming what I meant. I thought I knew what it meant before, but now when you say it in that context, maybe I don't know what it means. Video? Revenue? My brother ran out of moves testing your game on first playthrough. I probably would have watched an RV to get more moves. Yeah, I think I took that out for some reason. I should put that back in. Yeah. The only thing is, so this gets into an interesting debate because rewarded video advertisements, gotcha. he would have probably watched RV. So I'm thinking about this game as like normally we try to restrict players from playing infinitely, you know, like I want them to get stuck after a certain amount of time. The idea is that I used to have these side features that after the player ran out of moves, they could interact with these side features, and they could play them to get more moves that go back into the game. And so that's kind of how I was keeping players engaged. But I kind of took those out, so I'm kind of it's something to think about, because in taking those out, I could see, maybe I cut off the first gameplay experience too early. I should really work on my analytics so that I see where players are dropping out, because if they're only playing for a few minutes, I want them to play for longer. But why not just test it, says Matt PS2. Maybe you'll make enough to buy a beer a month. It doesn't hurt. Yeah. Ooh, analytics. Yeah, so that's like another argument for like analytics and stuff. Because like, I'm gonna need those to make. If I'm gonna make decisions about the game, I need to have like those analytics, you know. So maybe that should be something I should work on next week for sure. Why not test it? So like, I barely have any players even playing. So is it even worth it to, like, if there's like 10 people who go to the game on a day, like, is it worth it, like, to put a playable ad for an unlock or something? Like, to me, like, I think there's other things I want to work on, and I'm not concerned right now with I don't know. I don't see the benefit maybe in testing it right now, because the benefit wouldn't be that great. I think to me it makes sense to just test later, but I do see the argument to just kind of try it. But I'm not really concerned about making money right now. Like, I think my main goal is I want to make the best mobile puzzle game that I can possibly make. You have more players than mine, says Kessels. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I barely have any players at all right now, but that I'm like still getting the game out there and everything, of course. I have 5 testers with a build of 4 months old. Gotcha. Yeah. Mattman says, how do you know if you have no players without analytics? I know how many people are going to the website per day. So that's like, I like linked my Google Analytics account, and so that's all the data I have is like how many people or how frequently people are basically going there. So I guess I have analytics. I have one analytic. Kessel says 5 testers to build a 4 months old. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's part of why I'm making these videos and stuff too, is that like, I want to, like, in order to get the game out there without ads and stuff like that, like, I need to like kind of create a community, and so I'm like kind of trying to create communities that I can at least expose myself in, but also I need to be making videos and finding ways to target mobile game players. Like, so I'm like looking into Facebook and trying to target like people who like Panda Pop and stuff like that. Do you notice an uptick when you post videos? Yes. If I'm not posting videos, I'll get like a few players who play my game in a day. If I post a video or am frequently posting videos, I'll get like 10 to 20 players in a day, and I think that number could just keep growing if I keep regularly posting videos and keep working on building an audience. But yeah, I definitely notice a difference. If I'm not putting my game out there, I'm not getting like I'm getting hardly any organic like visits or anything like that. But I think I've been learning a lot, and I think I'm confident that we can get the game there. So that's why I'm like working on the game a little and working on the videos a little bit more. Does your analytics say new versus returning users? That alone is huge data. Yes. So like, I think I have like 20 or 30 people who like return multiple times, and like 100 or so, something like that, have played once. So like about like a sixth or so of my audience have visited the webpage multiple times, and have been returning. About a sixth of the visits, I'd say, have been return visits. But with such like little sample size, you know, I think that's kind of like not that useful because like some of those people are people I know maybe or stuff like that, you know, with only like a sample size of like 100 or 200 or so. Yeah, but keep questions coming and stuff like that. This is an interesting conversation. I'm like I've realized more and more like how little I know about everything, you know. So I'm like so open to like new information and different perspectives. Fair points. Finish that video. Sweet. Yeah, and like thank you for asking me these questions, like, because all these things I know I'm doing some things different and some things like I'm probably doing wrong, and so like you guys being such experienced like developers, like it really helps me out to like hear what you think of what I'm doing, and like calling out the UI, calling out analytics, all this stuff. Like really enjoy hearing that. You make a portrait version for TikTok. Oh, this is like a 10-minute, 9-minute video, so probably not. Although I've been thinking like once I get everything sorted out for these videos and like my schedule, like I need to start posting TikToks and like stuff like that. I want to do that because it's fun and like interesting. I'm gonna call out that save load button one more time. Yeah. Oh, are you gonna call it out on TikTok? Yeah, I need to fix that. I think what I'm telling myself is like in 2 to 4 weeks, like there's gonna be a point where the game is gonna be like, wow, like looking at the game, like it's like markedly better in the way it looks and like fleshed out the features. And I'm gonna be at that point. I think we're gonna be ready to like let's like get an app going, and I want to have it live, like a good solid V1 version of it live everywhere, and then we can like go forward from there, kind of. I'm too busy to make good TikToks. Makes sense, you guys are working really hard. When I saw your hex stars, when I cracked them out loud, it's unexpected. Yeah, I realized that like the me screaming video, like it didn't work as well on its own. Like it needed like something attached to it. And I'm like, oh, like the feeling when you lose in that game, like that's like actually a moment that I thought people could resonate with, you know. And so yeah, I'm glad you liked that one. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I want to like start putting up more videos of other mobile games and stuff on TikTok too. And like, since like I'm doing like with these videos, I'm gonna be reviewing some of them and stuff like that. So it'd be cool, like on TikTok or Instagram or something. I could just once in a while say like, "Hey, this mobile game's awesome," whatever. Check out Undead Eatery or whatever it is. Yeah, I want to be a TikToker. Like, if this game dev stuff doesn't work out, I've been working on like my dance moves and stuff. I've been learning the WAP or whatever it's called. JK. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, feel free, anyone, to interrupt me with whatever. I think I'm pretty close to done with this.
Lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share.
OMG, what a pivot, going from game dev to TikTok dancer. Yeah, so it's so out of left field that, you know, it might just work, is what I'm thinking, you know? I could do both, maybe.
Books on mobile game development that I'd like to review. The roots for a lot of these discussion topics and games that I play will probably also come from my stream. So Monday through Friday, in the mornings into the afternoons, I stream the development of my own game, Emoji Pop. So I'm always...
Okay, so... You could be lazy, make it portrait the easy mode for TikTok. Just put green bars on somehow so it feels full screen. Yeah, I totally could do that. Yeah, I could. I don't know. I guess if I really want to invest, I would spend the time. But yeah, maybe I don't have the time. Maybe I could just push them out like that. That's a good idea. You'd have to find 1-minute TikToks. Right. Yeah, I could probably clip them into be 1 minute or something. That might be something worth considering for sure. Good idea.
PC console games are about. Mobile games are about a gameplay system that serves as the core for a larger treadmill of progress, which players can tap into in the idle moments of their lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share. Books on
So I have like a funny picture. When I say stories from the industry, I'm just gonna put up a picture of me like, I don't know, me at work or something. There's like a picture of me at like a party or something. Yeah, the Facebook group's doing pretty well though. We have like, I think a little more than 80 members now. A good number of them I'm inviting, but then a good number of them are also just finding it on their own or being invited by other people. I feel like once we get to like a couple hundred, then I might try to make a shift and try to get like, start getting more like players of mobile. Maybe I should do it even sooner, like getting players of these mobile indie games and not just devs, but that's just an idea that someone had in the group. Probably a good idea, I think. Photos. Alright. This is me at one of the company parties. Had some rough nights after these company parties. It was either left like, one time I had to sleep outside, another time one time I like almost broke my ankle. It was crazy.
Into in the idle moments of their lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share. Whoops.
So I'm just gonna zoom in while that's happening.
Their lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share. Whoops.
That's too far.
Their lives. I have a lot of funny experiences in the industry that I'd love to share. Books on mobile game development that I'd like to review.
Alright, let's find a picture of a book about mobile game development. And so I always like to have these little side visuals, otherwise it'll just lose interest. I think it makes it look somewhat professional or something. One book called Hooked that I think is really good that I'll probably make a video about eventually, so I'll just add that as a little teaser.
For a lot of these discussion topics and games that I play will probably also come from my stream. So Monday through Friday.
So I want to show another view of my stream, not just have it on the same boring screen. Maybe I'll speed this up actually.
That I'd like to review. The roots for a lot of these discussion topics and games that I play will probably also come from my stream. So Monday through Friday, in the mornings into the afternoons, I stream the development of my own game, Emoji Pop. So I'm always working with people in my chat who are giving me feedback on the game and kind of shaping its future. But that I play will probably also come from my stream. So Monday through Friday.
So here's where I'll put like stream information. Yeah, I know this is a weird stream, so like don't feel like you have to be like constantly engaged. I'd love to talk if you have the time, but like just wanted to make sure I at least checked in and played Hex Stars and got the latest on Undead Eatery. Really appreciate everyone watching my stream. So I think there's a Twitch icon here and YouTube. So add some text. Probably black. So then another one. Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. What times? We should really start at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That'll be our target. Let's make these smaller. Okay.
Friday in the mornings into the afternoons. I stream the development of my own game, Emoji Pop.
So let's get a video of me coding or whatever. Let's see. Okay, here's one of us redesigning the UI. It's 2 hours long. Okay, sweet. So coding and stuff. Is there anything else we want in here? No, this was a solid GameDev sesh. Yeah, let me know if anyone's, does anyone else watch any, let me know if you watch any other game developers. I know that there's this one Tom Randall guy, I think that's really popular. Curious if anyone else knows anyone else that's might be good to watch. Saw Kessel's streamed a few days ago, but I wasn't online.
So Monday through Friday in the mornings into the afternoons, I stream the development of my own game, Emoji Pop. So I'm always I stream the development of my own game, Emoji Pop. So I'm always working with people in my chat who are giving me feedback on the game and kind of shaping its future. But in addition to that, I also do streams where I'll play all of these mobile indie games that people post and give my first impressions and get your reactions to it as well. We also, as a group, kind of discover games together or suggest topics that we could use in these Emoji Popcast episodes. So this first episode, I really want to focus on
Okay, so that's where I transition into the Hexstars stuff, and so I want to probably download that stream where we played all those games. I think it was on Monday. So let me find that video. Okay, here it is. There's a copyright claim on it. What the? I guess I can't monetize. What is this? What could I have possibly done? Oh, it's from the 6ix9ine You got a copyright strike. LOL. Yeah. So when I was playing 6ix9ine, we turned the volume on to see if it was his music, and then obviously like, oh right, like can't play 6ix9ine, I guess. That's pretty funny. It doesn't do it. It doesn't affect me at all. It's not a copyright strike. It's just like a warning or whatever to make me ineligible to make money off of the video, which has like 3 views on YouTube or whatever. But I just thought that was funny. I was like, what would I have possibly... I didn't know what I could have possibly done. That's pretty funny. So I'm downloading that video. Hopefully I have enough memory for it. Oh, LOL Spam PS2. Oh... Yeah, it was surprising though, because I'm like, I don't do anything. What are you talking about? Alright, it's about downloaded. Gonna move it to my other drive. Alright. Yeah, but I'm just feeling this zone where I feel like really passionate about mobile game development and mobile game design and indie game development, so I'm like, might as well just write it out while I feel like this and make videos and try to get myself some exposure. Okay. So this is a sequence of me playing games. Probably just make it a lot faster. It's around here.
So I'm always working with people in my chat who are giving me feedback on the game and kind of shaping its future. But in addition to that, I also do streams where I'll play all of these mobile indie games that people post.
Let's crop some of this out. Yeah, so I'm not that good at Adobe Photoshop, but I'm getting decent in Adobe Premiere Elements. Left.
Give my first impressions and get your...
So let's make this faster.
Where I'll play all of these mobile indie games that people post and give my first impressions and get your reactions to it as well.
Much faster.
To do streams where I'll play all of these mobile indie games that people post and give my first impressions and get your reactions to it as well. We also, as a group, kind of discover games together or suggest topics that we could use in these Emoji Popcast episodes. So this first episode, I really want to focus on a game that was recently released by one of my Twitch followers, Batman PS2. Suggest topics that we could use in these Emoji Popcast episodes. So this first episode, I really want to focus on a game that was
Let me get your new app art. Let's Stars Eternal. Ooh, I like the Google Play icon too. I think I like the iOS one better, but I'm sure y'all are testing it and stuff. So occasionally I'm still using GIMP because when I need to do these little things, I just know where everything is, but I know I should probably stop. Alright, we got the updated icon. I think there's another place where I did the labels. Oh, scared me. Eva 3311, what's up? Wow, I was hadn't spoken for a minute, so I was not expecting someone to actually follow me. What's going on? How did you come into contact with this stream? It even made a really loud noise, so I was like, what? Yeah, so is this someone from our Facebook group or Discord, or someone who found us in the I'm new to GameDev? Cool. So are you looking towards, are you like learning a coding language or working with a tool or something? No, from GameDev. No, I'm new to new to GameDev. No, from GameDev. Are you saying you're new to GameDev or you're from GameDev? I'm just working on this video about game design, kind of. It's like a first episode of this video series I'm making, and I'm trying to get it out in like the next 40 minutes or so, and then I'll work on my game. You are making a Pokemon game, says Kessels. Is that true, Eva 3311? Or are you a fan of the band 311? Okay.
One of my Twitch followers, Batman.
I'm making a Pokemon game. That's awesome. Is there anywhere, can you send us a link so we can check it out? Well, trying. I always thought like that would be so cool. Like Pokemon's such a successful game, and like there's not too many like direct competitors. So I think that could be cool to like try your own take at it. That's really exciting. The whole idea that you can like, yeah, I don't know, something about Pokemon that's unique that doesn't get tried often. Yeah, let us know if there's anything we can. I can't self-promote here, or you can totally self-promote here. That's all we're doing here. No, just kidding. But yeah, you can totally promote here. We could check it out on the stream as well.
Topics
because I'm streaming it. I can't self-promote because I'm streaming it. You're streaming it. Okay. I'm learning Blender. Got it. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, that's I've always kind of avoided learning Blender and Unity and stuff like that, but that's something that's a skill I'm really jealous of. So that's awesome that you're learning Blender. Blender 3D, right? So is it gonna be like a 3D Pokemon game? I like Blender, says my MMPS2. Nice. Eva, I did voice acting before. Cool. Kessel says, be careful, you can be sued very quickly if you make a Pokemon game. Good point. Heck yeah, 3D open world Pokemon game. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess you'll just have to call it something different, but that's awesome. Call it Pokemon. It's about a mom who collects Pokemon, maybe. Copyright claim, says Kessel's right. I will not make money out of it, says Eva3311. Nice. Free games, automatic for the people.
Suggest topics that we.
And Nintendo's. As long as you keep it a secret.
I really want to focus on a game that was recently released.
I got deal with them. Oh, Nintendo knows about it. I got deal with them. Really? You made a deal with Nintendo to make a Pokemon game? That's pretty rad.
Released by one of my Twitch followers, MadmanPS2. It's called Hexstars. And I think it's a really good example of how we can think about cloning games.
Will they let me make a Pokemon game too?
In a very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core.
I want to make a Pokemon game where your Pokemon actually die. Can we do that? Can you make that in your game?
Cloning games in a very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core of. It also gets to the core of the thinking around how.
Permadeath Pokemon. Yeah, that'd be cool. And because then like people develop like these emotional attachments, and so like you could keep them alive, but like maybe you make a mistake and you leave them in battle for too long and they actually die, and like then maybe your character has to go through some like, you know, emotional trauma. I don't know. Could be cool. Like a goth Pokemon.
Very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core.
Wouldn't that be crazy frustrating though? You like level up your Pokemon to like 100 and you get attacked and you die, and it's just like hundreds of hours are just down the drain. Like that would like raise the tension so much, you know? Could be cool.
Of the thinking around how.
Madman says player takes depression meds because they lost a Pokemon. That'd be cool. Like, and it's like it's addressing mental illness in our society. It's like it becomes like a serious game almost. Eva says, I'm sure Nintendo would approve. You have to like bury your Pokemon. Eva says, I also want to make a dragon game. That player is a dragon. Interesting. I saw someone made a game on Dreams where you were a dragon and you breathe fire and stuff like that. But I feel like there's like that's like such a hefty task. I'm sure there's like a million ways to do that. I could see like we need more dragon games. There's like Legends of Dragoon, right? A Skyrim game from the perspective of the dragon.
Cloning games in a very different.
Okay. This needs to move.
use in these emoji podcast.
Yeah, Eva, keep us up to date on your progress. I would love to see what you make with Blender and everything like that.
Past episodes. So this first episode, I really want to focus on a game that was recently...
I stream Monday through Friday. Normally I stream... Yeah, Eva 3311. Have you been? I think I remember you. Were you in the stream before? I stream randomly. Gotcha. Yeah, I stream Monday through Friday. I usually do game dev. I need to get on a better schedule with that. It's good to stream though, because it keeps me like accountable, kind of. I think not, says Eva. Okay. Need to focus. Let's see. This needs to go down. Yeah, you should check out this game Hexstars on iOS and Google Play. Yeah, so I like to make videos about like these mobile games and indie games we're playing. We started an indie mobile game dev group on Facebook, and so I've been playing a lot of games from there, and I've got like a bunch of videos that I'm making about them and things that I'm thinking about. iOS, Android. He says Eva 3311. So yeah, I want to see that permadeath Pokemon. So I think it's gonna take a while, but let us know how it's going. I'm gonna ask you to update us on your progress next time. You better have at least like the first like boss, the first Pokemon dungeon done or whatever. First world. That's what I want to do. Hex, iOS, Android. I played Pokemon Sword. How is that? I like the idea of Pokemon. I just don't play it anymore, but I like the idea. I feel like, I don't know. I like the idea of catching these creatures and growing them. I just wish, I don't know. I feel like to me it needs something new. Should I add not safe for work version of it? I love the idea of not safe for work games. Like, I think, I don't know. I've never played one even, but like I just think that's such a cool space in a way. Even though that's kind of weird, but like, yeah, you should go for it. It's a good game. Yep. Not safe for work Pokemon, LOL. I mean, basically, the Pokemon are slaves in that game, right? You keep them in these little cages and you force them to battle one another. Like, we need to embrace the idea that that is a not safe for work concept alone. You know? Maybe it's Pokemon, except the Pokemon are people. Maybe that's the not safe for work part.
Released by one of my Twitch followers.
They are slaves. You could lean really hard into that concept if you wanted to.
Batman PS2. It's called Hexstars, and I think it's a really good example of how we can think about. It's called Hexstars, and I think it's a really good example of how we can think about cloning games in a very different way than what we've thought.
But I want to collab with someone. I don't know if I want to put my name on that. I would applaud you and support you, though. Are there any other famous not safe for work game developers?
We can think about cloning games in a very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile gameplay experiences. So obviously you probably have heard of this game called Fall Guys. It's a multiplayer.
We could collaborate in terms of the design. I'd love to like that's usually this usually the stream where or in even the Facebook group we have, we're just kind of commenting on the design of each other's games. Like we could collab with you in terms of ideas, if you have any game concepts you're working on or anything like that. Okay.
Core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile games.
Oops.
How to create engaging mobile gameplay experience. Thinking around how to create engaging mobile gameplay experiences. So obviously you probably have heard of this game called Fall Guys. It's a multiplayer.
Okay, what's the company that made Fall Guys? Fall Guys is made by Mediatonic.
Online game where you're running and jumping through these obstacles with a bunch of other people. Each round, a certain number of players are allowed to progress to the next round, and eventually there's a final tournament, and the last person standing wins a trophy or crown or whatever they are. So this game recently blew up.
Mediatonic. Yeah, after this video is out, I'm really curious what you guys have in terms of feedback for me, because I'm really open to feedback on these videos. I want to make them really engaging and really different. I don't know. I'm curious to your feedback.
On Twitch, it was streamed really heavily. It became the most streamed game overnight, basically. So obviously, all of the mobile game developers were trying to wonder, how can we tap into this enthusiasm for this kind of game? What can we learn from this new trend? So some developers made games like this one. This is a Fall Guys clone, I think.
Okay, so let's see what the name of this game is. It's called Silly Race. And Silly Race is made by a company called Follow Circles. Kessel says, "What do you want to pay?" Okay, so Kessels is open to collaboration with Eva. So Eva, you got your collaborator, but they're gonna need some compensation, it seems. Oops. And Kessels is a pro, so Eva, they'd make a really good member of your team. Considering you have the backing of Nintendo, I'm sure you can afford to bring on Kessels, right?
It's safe to say. And in play.
Okay, this needs to be black. can't see it if it's white.
Playing it, it's not that fun. I don't get that sense of fun that I get with the console Fall Guys console onto mobile. System on mobile needs to constantly engage its players. It needs to have really tight moment-to-moment gameplay. So if you look at the Fall Guys clones that directly translate the game without modifying it at all, often player
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't seem like Eva's willing to collaborate. Madman says, I don't like my game sitting next to these fools. It's pretty funny. LOL, says Kessels.
to have really tight moment-to-moment gameplay. So if you look at the Fall Guys,
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Guys clones that directly translate the game without modifying it at all. Often players will run for several seconds in a row without making any choices, without even thinking about what they're doing, because they're just running in a straight line basically. So because it's a mobile game, they have to kind of limit your movement, so it has to be much more minimal, the kinds of
Mammon says, I think Fall Guys and PC dropped the ball by not adding new content quick enough. I think I agree with you. Something they can learn from mobile games totally makes sense. One thing that they did that I think was really smart, but I think you're right that too little too late, is that midway through their first season, they added a couple elements to some of those games to kind of mix them up. Like they added a couple hammers and things. So they definitely realized that they need to be updating content, but I think you're right that they failed to keep it fresh enough. Like I think you're right. Like they should have been rotating things in and out. Maybe the first season's so long, they just added that. Yeah, totally good point. They just added it after weeks. So yeah, but they're not even on top 5 in Twitch. Interesting. Yeah, so I hadn't thought about it. I wonder if Among Us is streaming more than Fall Guys. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. Yes, Fall Guys has 37,000 viewers right now on Twitch, which is not that many considering what it was before. Among Us 3, 14 on Twitch. Yeah, you're right, Among Us is really high. Wow, that's crazy. I wonder how big of a boom they're gonna get when their next season starts. It's probably gonna have dwindling returns going forward. They were talking about like a level creation kind of thing. I don't know. I think there's certain things they could do to like try to, I don't know, get the excitement going again, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to or not.
Challenges that you're facing and the path.
It'll boom to top, but for how long? Biggest boom will be Xbox release. That makes sense. Okay, I didn't realize they were going to release an Xbox. That's interesting.
That you're going through, the players of this game are not constantly engaged. They're checking out mid-game. So now let's look at hex stars. You can
Okay. Let's get this one in there.
play Hexstar by downloading it on the App Store or the Google Play Store. So let's examine this gameplay. So when the creators
Sick
of this
new
game,
icon, LOL. Yeah, I know, right? I like the one on Android too. They're both like very action oriented. I like that, and still exhibit personality.
actually started working on it, they were envisioning it to be some kind of runner, kind of like Fall Guys or.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I was kind of suggesting that like when you were first envisioning this game, I was suggesting the developer aren't they the same? Maybe I still have an A/B test going. Yeah, it looked like the same when I googled it at least. The one on Android looks like you see them more from the side, I think, if I remember correctly. And in this video, I'm kind of suggesting that like when developing the game, like the people making Hex Stars, I'm saying they were kind of imagining maybe something more like Fall Guys, more like a runner or whatever. And I'm saying that like over time you kind of settled on this more ideal system for mobile gameplay.
On it, they were envisioning it to be some kind of runner, kind of like Fall Guys or some infinite runner or something like that. But by making the game with an open mindset, the game evolved into what is best for the mobile gameplay experience.
So I need footage here of the game.
And that was to get rid of the running thing. So instead, they took inspiration from my favorite mode in the game with an open mindset. The game evolved into what is best.
Batman says, I looked to a lot of popular games, but yeah, you're pretty much right. You could argue the original Fall Guys idea came from runner mobile games. Definitely agree with you, makes sense. I also took inspiration and learned from my failures in my similar mobile games called Fall.io. You see video on that one before? I don't know. Not a link. Yeah, I opened it. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a link that you meant to share. Fall.io. Okay, I see. It's not, okay, so that's good to know. That's interesting. Cool. So I'm glad like I got it somewhat right, you know, and like I'd love to like maybe in another video if I want to make another video. I'm sure I'll like after updates I want to make another one about it or something. That's not link. It auto puts types in your chat. IO makes sense. Try to show the video. Yeah, I'd love to see it whenever you can. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really curious how you learn from that in your new game.
For the mobile gameplay experience and gameplay experience.
Cool. Thanks for sending that. One sec. Can't find the video, but you were a ball bouncing around on a single layer. Okay, interesting. Cool. Still bumping into enemies and such. Interesting. Are you constantly jumping? I think you are by looking at these videos. Interesting. I could see how like making this game like constantly jumping like Hexstars. Gotcha. Okay. I could see how making this game like was fun gameplay that way. Okay, makes sense. Interesting. I could see how making this like you learn a lot about like the psychology of this kind of gameplay, and you can like that game helped this game. Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. I could totally see how you learn all this stuff from making that game. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm sure that informed like the way it's structured and all that other stuff and everything around it. Yeah, that just shows like you just gotta like sometimes just gotta like make games and like if I keep making them, you keep learning and keep making cooler and cooler stuff. That's like V.1 to Hexstars V1. Totally makes sense. Oh man, that's awesome. It's cool to see that journey you've gone with that style of game and how you've been able to advance it. That's really really exciting to see that, and it shows like how much you're learning kind of through this process. That's super cool.
That was to get rid of the rut.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Though that's really interesting. I want to try your other older games and like learn more like where you've got kind of like your journey through like mobile game design or whatever.
So instead, they took inspiration from my favorite mode in the Fall Guys game, which is the hexagon mode, whatever it's called. So in this mode on Fall Guys, after you hit a tile, it's about to collapse. You have to keep running and jumping around, and the last person standing is the winner of the game. So by focusing on that mechanic, instead of doing the obstacle course thing, already they had established a way more engaging system, moment to moment, than the other Fall Guys clones on the mobile game sites. But they took it even farther by instilling...
Maven says, I recommend Hook'em and Chop Party. Rest are pretty bad, hard to recommend. Feel free to take a deep dive. I'm going to install those now while I see them. I've got so many games installed on my phone right now. Hook'em. Hook'em All fun fishing game. I loved it. Nice. Chop Party. Okay, I see that. Nice. I want to play them on this screen after I'm done working on this video, or maybe tomorrow if we don't have time. I see you made Cat Burglar, Roller Stars, Hook 'em All. Here it is. Cool. It looks like a fun fishing game. Wow, you guys made a lot of games. That's awesome. Planet Defender. Wow. Your newest app icon looks really professional in your Eternal Studio list of games. It really stands out, even in those. Looks classic. There's a lot of fish to collect. Really fun. LOL. Hard to say bye-bye to that one. Okay. Publisher made that icon. Can't take credit. Gotcha. It just looks like, yeah, it just looks like a classic game icon somehow. I don't know, you know? Man, yeah, it's super exciting to see all those games you made. Like, that's awesome. You have so much experience. It's totally cool.
A jumping mechanic. So the way the controls work.
Oh, excited to have you in my stream to get feedback from you and stuff like that.
Is you're placing a finger on the screen, and wherever you move it in whatever direction, that's where you're going to be jumping in the game. The farther you move in one direction, the longer the playable character is going to be jumping. So with every jump, you're trying to perfectly land on every tile, which doesn't always work out right.
So this is like another version someone made, and like they're not constantly jumping. I was kind of wanting to show like how different this is. I could probably make this video better, but I'm just kind of trying to get it out here at this point. Yeah. Did you play that left one? Thoughts? Oh, yeah. I thought the way... so just running around, that's an inherently not as good of a mechanic than the jumping mechanic. So that already lowers the gameplay. And the fact that they would jump only when there's not a tile, like... It sort of worked, but to me, that's not like a consistent mechanic that... I don't know, I like to feel like the mechanic's always in my control, you know, like the skill to be mastered, but for them, it felt bad, I thought. Because, yeah, when you run off a ledge, it jumps then, and it's like not in your total control, so it's, I don't know, for me, that I didn't like it for that reason. And the fact that you're just constantly running, it's not as engaging as your gameplay, as the constantly jumping one is. I would be curious if you have any different thoughts, though, or whatever. What's that one called? It's called Hexagon Fall 3D. Constantly jumping is fun. That other game just wasn't fun. LOL. Lots of factors went into my decision. Totally makes sense. New skin teaser on Discord. Oh, baby. Let's check it out. Oh, wow. This looks awesome. I love the Viking helmet. I especially like it with the tidy whities underwear. It's rad. That's a really cool hat. I could see players really wanting those big hats. I don't know. I think that's really cool. That's smart. I dig it. Oh, yeah, it's rad. Do you make the models for the new skins and stuff, or does your partner make them? Your brother? Hexagon Fall 3D Hyperbox games. I make usually. Cool. That must be fun. No, oops, what'd I do? Yeah, it's one thing about indie development is that you wear a lot of hats. So you gotta like do game design, programming, art, all this stuff. That's something I really like about it, actually. Yeah, and so tomorrow I promise we'll be back to game development like normal. I need to have like a good next couple days to make up for lost time, kinda. We gotta get this these new features we're working on Emoji Pop out for Monday.
Right, but just this jumping mechanic instilled a way even.
So I'm playing a portion of the game. Okay.
Instilled a way even deeper moment-to-moment engagement with players. It's really easy to execute, but very hard to completely master. And out of it comes all of these really interesting dynamic strategies. I've seen some players who share videos of the game. They try to get to the bottom really quickly, and then they try to take out all the tiles and screw over everyone at the top. I've seen players who try to cut off certain pieces of the puzzle so that they can keep as much for their own as possible. I think it's also a very replayable system because of the way that this game balances chance and skill. So with every mobile game that I evaluate,
alright, we're getting pretty close to done here. I promise we'll be on a better schedule after this. It's just been a weird week.
Every mobile game that I evaluate, I'm always trying to consider every mobile game that I evaluate. So with every mobile game that I evaluate, I'm always trying to consider how does the game deal with the chance inherent in the game and the skill inherent in the game? How do those weigh out with one another? So with your typical Fall Guys clones on the app stores, your level of chance is pretty low.
Okay, so this one, I think it's called Silly Race. Run Royale. Run Royale 3. Actually, let's just get one from somewhere else. Silly Run Royale. Mama says you could deep dive lots of mobile games that got their inspiration from popular other games. Good way to think of ideas. That's a really good point. You deep dive lots of mobile games that got their inspiration from popular other games. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. That's a really good idea, Matt Man. I think that happens all the time. And yeah, and I agree. That's a really great thing to delve into. One I remember from a couple years ago was King, the makers of games like Candy Crush and games like that. Like so many Minecraft-inspired games. Yeah, like I guess Roblox would be considered one of those a little bit. But yeah, probably a lot of others too. Yeah, it might be fun to like let's look at Minecraft clones and like see how they all do it differently. Like there could be a ton of different approaches like that. Like diving into that kind of stuff, like you're saying. That's a good idea. It's like an it's interesting way to learn about game design. Kessel says still she don't know how to use Blender more than 2 hours. Same screen on Twitch. Oh, Kessels, help her out. She's looking for a collaborator. She needs you to help her make a not safe for work Pokemon. But like yeah, I like so like there's trends that catch on that everyone tries to make games, and so it's fun to study those kind of trends. But also like I've seen like she don't pay. Never mind, forget about it. That's funny. You gotta get that money. But yeah, then there's like King, the maker of Candy Crush. They made a game called I forget what it's called, but it's like a match 3 kind of RPG, and it was based on like a strategy game on the Nintendo DS. There's some Nintendo DS kind of match 3 style RPG kind of game, and so they took that and translated it into like a mobile gameplay, and it worked really well. So now I'm always looking at like games like classic arcade games or newer games, and I'm always like, is there anything here that we could take and like implement for mobile that would work really well, you know? So like it's fun to have that mindset. It's really good to have that mindset of just looking everywhere. Mattman PS2 says, or how about Flappy Bird, how that sparked the mobile game dev gold rush. Every dev who was around in that time had a game inspired by that, including myself. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that's another good one to cover for sure. Yeah, it's also interesting to think about like why these games take off and like what's the core appeal. What do we learn? How do people do it right? How do people do it wrong? I like that Flappy Bird one as well. There's one that came to my mind, but I forgot. Do you know the story of like 2048 and threes? I'm guessing you do. That was actually a huge gold rush because there were articles saying how much money he made a day. Right, that's insane. That's such a funny, weird story. Such a weird, yeah. Mobile game development's so weird. There's this one famous indie developer who made a game called Threes, which is what inspired 2048, and they just basically ripped off that game and like kind of know the 2048 story, not entirely. Yeah, so they basically just like said, oh, we can do this mechanic, and so he made this game with a team like over a year, and they were like, oh, we can make this in like a couple days, just really simply, and then it took off because the Threes developer was charging $2 for their game, and so no one obviously bought it when there's a free version. There are so many 2048 type games, tons, yeah, totally. But just so crazy that because he was charging, he couldn't make any money. I paid for Threes back in the day. I did as well, actually. Yeah, but like compared to 2048, like that game went everywhere. So like, yeah, I don't know. It makes for like an interesting discussion about the game and how it points out how they failed. The Threes developers failed to like implement a realistic monetization plan and everything like that, and how you got to go for visibility, you know, and virality, not just making money off of every purchase. Like to them, like charging for apps is like more moral because you're not charging them in the game, but it's also unrealistic, you know. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. And mobile game design is like so new, like at least like iPhone kind of phone game design, like especially since the rise of the app stores less than a decade ago. Like it's crazy. Like I feel like there's so much we don't understand. There's so many huge mistakes that these giant mobile game developers make. Like I've kind of called them out a little bit in my videos, like about how they design bubble shooters as if they're match threes, but they're a totally different game that needs a totally different design. So like you just see it everywhere. There's like all this room for like innovation, you know. as if you know what you're doing. And so like that's why I'm calling out your game hex stars here, is that like you did something in a smart way that shows your understanding of player psychology and mobile game design and everything. Maybe I should make a bubble shooter. Do it. I think everyone should. Mine would be 3D. I think that's a really great idea. Like, I think that hasn't really been done too much, and I think there's a ton of directions you could take it in. I think that'd be cool. And you could make it. I could see a bubble shooter being made to be a competitive kind of game, like a hyper casual kind of thing, or I could see it 3D emojis. Do it, whatever. We can work together. You can make Emoji Pop 3D. I'll make Emoji Pop 2D. We'll conquer every space imaginable. But I think there's so many possibilities for the bubble shooter kind of format. So I'd be curious what you would do with a 3D bubble shooter. You could make it a puzzle game, or you can make it a hyper casual game. I think using that kind of mechanic, puzzle game might be easier.
Chance is pretty low. There's some chaos with like some obstacles, like the ball and stuff, but
Bubble shooter go augmented reality. That would be cool. Like there's levels scattered in the real world that you have to get them. I like just thinking of crazy game ideas, kind of, even if you can't implement them. I'm guessing it's not. I feel like it's somewhat possible now for indies to make augmented reality games, kind of, right? Like, even though that would be like a weird mashup. Should make a bubble shooter royale. It's 100 people playing the same bubble shooter level. Probs could never looked into. Yeah.
It's pretty static. The skill also did.
I'm surprised there weren't any other big augmented reality games that came out of Pokemon Go, honestly.
Said you're going long periods of time without really making any choices. It often feels like you just have to get lucky a little bit. But let's look at hex stars now. The chance is very prevalent in the
Oops. Wonder your final thoughts on this video. I only get 2 seconds of a time. I could just play it through to the end, actually.
the sense that the other players in the game can really screw you over. So there's a lot of chances.
Nah, wait, okay. It's a little different of a video because I spent the first 2 or 3 minutes kind of just introducing stuff. I don't know, it might have gone on too long, but watch on YouTube so you get some of my YouTube Red revenue. Hey, sounds good. But yeah, I've got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of random ideas, and I think we have a lot of interesting discussions on here, so I'm super excited to make videos about all this stuff.
With how good your opponents are, and if they decide to use certain power-ups against you. And the order of the tiles, the way they collapse, also creates a lot of chance based on where you are on the board and stuff. This level of chance is very important in the game because it gives you confidence to play the level over and over again. It gives...
Yeah, so I mean, using your game to like kind of say the main things that I look for in games. So like I introduced long-term value in the beginning. Like that's something that some developers don't even really think about. They're just making a gameplay system, but like it's about long-term value. That's like the most important kind of thing to focus on. I talk about balancing chance and skill, which I think this game does really well. Talk about moment-to-moment engagement with players. Ideas are 20% of it. Execution is 80% of it. Thoughts on that split? That's my opinion. I don't know if I can answer that question even, because here's the thing. I agree that ideas are 20% of it and executing is 80% of it. I think I kind of agree with that, because also, and executing it, that's how the ideas kind of take shape and evolve. So like the initial ideas are easy, of course, and so yeah, I agree that execution is 80% of it. But here's the thing: like at the company I used to work at, there were like dozens of workers, and I feel like many of them were kind of doing stuff that was unnecessary that we didn't need. I agree with your point so far, says Matt on PS2. Yeah, so while I agree that execution, like for people like you and me, execution is 80%, I agree. The ideas, like some of these companies, like there's like the way bubble shooters are being designed by these corporate developers, and they're not finding that much success. Like they're working really hard, and it's not getting them anywhere because they're not thinking about the ideas at all. So while ideas are maybe 20% of it, they're also, if you don't have the right ideas, then it's impossible, you know? Like if your execution isn't that good, but at least you had a good idea, like maybe you could get somewhere. Like it depends on your situation, I would say, you know? So like yeah, I agree with the ratio, I think, but also there should be an asterisk, I think, for the 20%, and that's like if you don't get the right ideas, then you're just making it possible to succeed. Depends on your role. Yeah, I was thinking from my perspective right now, I guess. Yeah, from my perspective, totally makes sense. I think 20%. I think some people would say that's too high, but I think you're right, because like we see all these like games inspired by Fall Guys, and like yours is far better than many of them, and that has to do with your execution. But like yeah, like there's some core ideas that you've kind of gotten good at thinking about. I hate thinking of new ideas. Stressful. Yeah. And when I saw the games that you made, I was thinking that must be tough to keep thinking of new ideas and dedicate yourself to them, like and picking the idea next. Like I could see that being really stressful, actually. It's interesting. Yeah, and so for you, like you must always be looking for like new potential gameplay systems to make interesting game experiences out of. Usually where I come from is like I don't think of many new gameplay systems. I usually am thinking in terms of like starting from like the meta or whatever I'm gonna do that creates long-term value, and then I find like the right gameplay system from there, kind of. But then I don't get that many ideas, you know. It's one full game a week if not working on a promising game. It's one full game a week. You're saying you're making one game a week if it's not like something that you're investing a ton of time into? If that's true, that's a ton of games. That's insane. Are you saying you make a game a week unless you're working on a huge project? At one point, it was one full game a week we made. Yes, that blows my mind. That is awesome. That's cool. That'd be really exciting and fun. Like, that's tough though. Wow, and that means you need a lot of ideas. I'm curious where you think you get most of your ideas. Like, I think you said you're inspired by things that are trending on the App Store or new games like that. You can see how quickly we release them on my app and your profile. Sweet. No need to now, just to be curious. I am curious. September 4th, October. Okay, they're out of date. Okay, so you released the Chinese version of Hexstars September 22. That's yesterday. August 27th, Hexstars. Cat Burglar May 13th. Roller Stars April 29th. So Cat Burglar 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to make Cat Burglar. It looks like it took 3 weeks to make Roller Stars. Spiral Plates was on my publisher's profile too. Okay, so there's another game. Hook 'em All took 2 weeks. Smack That took like 11 days. Glitter 3D. This one had a little gap. Maybe that's where you made the spinning plates. Between May, August 27th, there was a gap. Okay, May. Okay, so one in here before Hex Stars. Got it. Wow, I didn't realize how quickly you made games. That is really, really impressive. And then yeah, I see like here's an 8-day turnaround for Color Runner 3D, 2 week for Floppy. That is intense. So here's the Fall IO. That's from September 2018. Wow, that's pretty impressive. You made a lot of games. That is super cool. See, like seeing the number of games you release and stuff, like that makes me want to I don't know. I've never really considered 3D game design at all. Like for some reason, I've just always done 2D games that I can do in like my own language or whatever. But like, I don't know. Like this seems really exciting. I would love to like learn Unity a little bit. Like the fact that you can release games this quickly that are 3D, I didn't realize you could even accomplish that. It would take me a lot longer, obviously, but like that's really motivating. Idle Balloons 2D. I saw that on my iPhone. For some reason, oh yeah, here it is. Some of those older ones are 2D. Gotcha. I thought they'd show screenshots. Here they are. Gotcha. Here's the 2D ones. Yeah, interesting. I'm also not very good at it's been so long since I've published a game to the App Store that there's so much like rust that I need to figure out, you know? Especially using this engine I'm using for Cocos for my emoji pop, it's like kind of difficult. I'm having some weird problems, so I just need to hunker down, I think, and like just figure out this App Store stuff. Like seeing like your catalog is super like motivating. I'm like, okay, like I need to step up my game. Batman PS2 was killing it, you know? And like all that hard work's really paid off because they just released Hex Stars, which is really impressive and doing really good. So thanks for mentioning this. This is amazing. 90% games failed though. Yeah, but you must have learned so much from all of these experiences. That's super dope. I'm excited to play them and kind of like poke around and see what you've done. It's a climb. Yep, makes sense. Oh man, I'm really excited though. I'm really excited for what your next game idea is after Hex Stars. You know, like I feel like you guys have leveled up. You know, I'm excited to see what your next design is going to be about. But I also haven't played your other games yet. Early games may not work on iPhone X. No promises. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check those out later. Yeah, feel free to keep saying stuff in the chat. I'm just gonna keep working. Feel free to interrupt me.
Look at Hex Stars now. The chance is very prevalent in the sense that the other players in the game playthrough could be a really lucky playthrough where they get all the odds in their favor and they can have a really big win. But skill in these games is also very important because players need to feel like their victories are their own and that their failures are also their own. Tile individually.
So I'm gonna record Hex Stars. I want to record that bomb mode. So because that looks like I need another clip of the game. I would mirror it, but I think that slows it down. I'm resetting the game until I get to the bomb mode. one. Oh, this game's intense. Bomb mode fun, still needs improvements. Feedback if you got it. Gotcha. Oh, I just lost. Yeah. Something that happens in bomb mode. This is the one thing I said that happens in bomb mode is that you can't. You're trying to like jump tile to tile, but usually you're able to like focus kind of on where you're jumping to and stuff like that. But with the bomb mode, you're having to keep an eye on like other parts of the screen that you normally don't. Are you on your own phone case? Yes, I am. It's a dramatic picture of me with the ocean rolling in. Pretty awesome, right? My sister got for me as a Christmas gift. I thought it was really cool. LOL, that's hilarious. This Matt man. Yeah, I really like repping myself for some reason, and it's all dramatic. So people are always like, "What?" It's like a good conversation starter. Yeah. So like the only thing I was thinking of is when you're playing the bomb mode. So you're kind of trying to focus on the tile jumping, but you're also trying to focus on other parts of the screen because you're trying to watch out for the bomb. And I don't think that's bad because it creates a tension that I think is interesting and makes it a little challenging. There's sometimes where it feels like if the person who gets the bomb ends up falling pretty quickly, it kind of loses the tension because maybe you're never on the same level as the bomb, so that maybe those experiences, the gameplay isn't as different as the normal level. And that's just like a small thing. So like if there's any way you can think of to like ensure the bomb, maybe the person with the bomb has like maybe they have some advantage that makes it easier for them to like stick around or something, or if their AI is smarter if they start with the bomb, or I'm not really sure, but that might be something. Maybe an indicator of where the bomb is, that could totally be a good idea. And I could see that if there's an indicator, I think that would increase the tension. If there was some kind of indicator that also indicated like how far away it was, so like maybe it'd be darker or flash more or something if it was really close. So players could kind of in their peripheral just keep an eye on the indicator and focus on the jumping. I think that could be a good idea. Like it seems similar to your solution of the arrows pointing down once they open up. I thought that was like such a great solution. All right, YIV. Yeah, also, I wasn't playing without sound, so maybe I'm not sure if you did anything with the sound as an indicator, but I wouldn't have heard it without headphones. Not that you can rely on that or anything. Adding sound next update. No sound so far. Gotcha. Yeah, I think sound's overrated, right? Because don't most people play with the sound off anyway? Cool that you're adding it now, though. That's why I don't have many sounds in my game. They're really ugly sounding. I need to like work on that probably. All right.
A really lucky playthrough where they get all the odds in their favor and they can have a really big win. But skill in these games is also very important because players need to feel like their victories are their own and that their failures are also their own to some level. And as I said, the simple jumping mechanic is amazing. Players who play a lot get really good at tapping on each tile individually in order to maximize the number of time they stay floating up, and also how to use the power-ups against each other. Simple jumping mechanic is amazing. Players who play a lot get really good.
Wait, that's not the one I downloaded. Recent. I'm looking for the video I just downloaded. Probably this one. BEA. Oh my god. Okay. Sound is cool, says Batman. Just doesn't work well with how quick we move. Totally makes sense. Weeks like this week, we have time for it. Gotcha. Okay, that totally makes sense. You have like priorities, and with the rate you're working, sound isn't top priority. Totally makes sense. Getting close to the end here.
Really big win. But skill in these games is also very important because players need to feel like their victories are their own and that their failures are also their own to some level. And as I said, the simple jumping mechanic is amazing. Players who play a lot get really good at tapping on each tile individually in order to maximize the number of time they stay floating up, and also how to use the power-ups against each other. There's so much in terms of getting player and learning all the dynamic strategies and when to apply them based on the situation. So that's a really simple gameplay comparison between the gameplay of your typical Fall Guys clones and your gameplay of Hexstars. I think it's a really good example to learn.
Okay, this is like the last minute of the video. Just need to change the positions of some things. I'm assuming you outsource your sound, right? Be impressive if you did it all in-house. Yes, outsource, gotcha. Makes sense. Hey, Little Killer Max, what's up, yo? How did you happen to find this stream? Are you a member of our mobile indie dev group, or are you just browsing Twitch? I'm finishing up this video, and then normally we would do game development on the site, but we're talking about like everyone's games and the chats and stuff like that. Kessel says hey in return.
Games is also
Kessel is working on a game on Steam called Undead Eatery. It's like Diner Dash with zombies and multiplayer. Yeah, just browser. Got it. Yeah, so normally we'd be streaming game development. I'm working on a game called Emoji Pop. It's like a bubble shooting game. But I like to play other people's games in the chats, their mobile games, and right now I'm working on a video because it's like our first Emoji Popcast video we're releasing.
very important because players need to feel like their victories are their own and that their failures are also their own to some level. And as I said, the simple jumping mechanic is amazing. Players who play a lot get really good at tapping on each tile individually.
So just going to change the position of this a little.
At tapping on each tile individually in order to maximize the number of time they stay floating up. And also how to use the power-ups against each other. There's so much in terms of getting player and learn.
Yeah, little killer Max. We have someone in the chat, Madman PS2, who made a game called Hex Stars that I really recommend. Unless the video I'm making it about. It's like super fun. It's a super engaging mobile game. I'm curious if you're a mobile gamer yourself. It's kind of what we tend to focus on here.
Learning all the dynamic strategies and when to apply them based on the situation. So that's a really simple gameplay comparison between.
So here I'm going to move to the center. Let's scale down a bit. So this one be over here. So this is the Hex Stars game. And then we'll include another clip of one of those other lame Fall Guys clones. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, but Little Killer, I'd really recommend you give me a follow if you're interested in game development stuff, or if you're a game developer yourself, if you're interested in mobile games or learning level design or game design or anything like that. That's kind of what this stream is all about. Okay. So this one's on the left.
Based on the situation. So that's a really simple gameplay comparison between the gameplay of your typical Fall Guys clones and your gameplay of.
Okay, so they should be switched. Actually, yeah. And I'm gonna just export this and I'll publish it to YouTube right away.
Hex Stars. I think it's a really good example to learn from in terms of when I'm thinking about game. Example to learn from in terms of when.
Oops.
Of your typical Fall Guys clones and your gameplay of Hex Stars. I think it's a really good example to learn from in terms. From a different arena and bring it into a new space, into the mobile space. How do you think about translating that gameplay in a way that makes it work for mobile?
So need one more clip of Hex Guys. Hex Stars. I call it Hex Guys. Hex Guys. Alright, I'll do this one.
Terms of when I'm thinking about game. Terms of when I'm thinking about gameplay, or when I'm taking gameplay from. How do you think about translating that gameplay in a way that makes it work for mobile? So I think it's something that everyone should play and take note of, because I think that this is something that we can really learn from. The developer's also releasing tons of new content.
Okay, so almost at the end of this. Hex Guy's good alternate title. Yeah, not bad. I like that yours has like a more unique identity though to your name.
The developer's also releasing tons of new.
Oops. So starting at skill here. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Skill 100.
Developers also. And so I'm really excited to see where the game goes. So that was the very first Emoji Podcast. I hope you like it. I have a ton of great ideas for episodes going forward. If you have any ideas for things that you'd like me to talk about, or games you want me to play and analyze, please let me know. I would love to play all of your games. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.
Okay, so
New gameplay modes and power-ups and all this stuff, and so I'm really excited to see where the game.
So let's just kind of quickly watch from the start. I'll skip certain parts to make sure we're good. The beginning, we're good. You can watch on YouTube if you haven't seen that part yet. Just introducing what I'm doing.
Followers, Batman PS2. It's called Hex Stars, and I think it's a really good example of how we can think about cloning games in a very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile gameplay experiences. So obviously you probably have heard of core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile game
So maybe I should be in the center for this part.
thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile gameplay. So games in a very different way than what we've thought in the past. This topic also gets to the core of the thinking around how to create engaging mobile gameplay experiences. So obviously you probably have heard of this game called Fall Guys. It's a multiplayer online game where you're running and jumping through these obstacles with a bunch of other people. Each round, a certain number of players are allowed to progress to the next round, and eventually there's a final tournament, and the last person standing wins a trophy or crown or whatever they are. So this game recently blew up. On Twitch it was streamed really heavily, became the most blew up. On Twitch it was streamed really heavily, became the most streamed game overnight basically. So obviously all of the mobile game developers were trying to wonder, like, how can we tap into this enthusiasm for this kind of game? What can we stream game overnight basically? So obviously all of the mobile game developers were trying to wonder, like, how can we tap into this enthusiasm for this kind of game? What can we learn from this new trend? So some developers made games like this one. This is a Fall Guys clone, I think it's safe to say. And in playing it, it's not that fun. I don't get that sense of fun that I get with the console Fall Guys game. So I think the mistakes of games like this one result in our inability to think through what we're really doing when we're cloning mobile games. Gameplay usually doesn't directly translate from console onto mobile. Obviously you have the difference in controls, which is very stark. The problem is a good gameplay system on mobile needs to constantly engage its players. It needs to have really tight moment-to-moment gameplay. So if you look at the Fall Guys clones that directly translate the game without modifying it at all, often players will run for several seconds in a row without making any choices, without even thinking about what they're doing, because they're just running in a straight line basically. So because it's a mobile game, they have to kind of limit your movement, so it has to be much more minimal, the kinds of challenges that you're facing and the path that you're going through. The players of this game are not constantly engaged, they're checking out mid-game. So now let's look at Hexstars. You can play Hexstar by downloading it on the App Store or the Google Play Store. So let's examine this gameplay. So when the creators of this game actually started working on it, they were envisioning it to be some kind of runner, kind of like Fall Guys or some infinite runner or something like that. But by making the game with an open mindset, the game evolved into what is best for the mobile gameplay experience. Working on it, they were envisioning it. The game evolved into what is best for the mobile gameplay experience, and that was to get rid of the running thing. So instead, they took inspiration from my favorite mode in the Fall Guys game, which is the hexagon mode, whatever it's called. So in this mode on Fall Guys, after you hit a tile, it's about to collapse. You have to keep running and jumping around, and the last person standing is the winner of the game. So by focusing on that mechanic, instead of doing the obstacle course thing, already they had established a way more engaging system, moment to moment, than
Okay. Want to make sure the name Hexstars is on it.
they had established a way more engaging system, moment to moment, than the other Fall Guys clones on the mobile game sites. But they took it even farther by instilling a jumping mechanic. So the way the controls work is you're placing a finger on the screen, and wherever you move it in whatever direction, that's where you're going to be jumping in the game. The farther you move in one direction, the longer the playable character is going to be jumping. So with every jump, you're trying to perfectly land on every tile, which doesn't always work out right. But just this jumping mechanic instilled a way even deeper moment. Just this jumping mechanic instilled a way even deeper. Moment-to-moment engagement with the players. It's really easy to execute, but very hard to completely master. And out of it comes all of these really interesting dynamic strategies. I've seen some players who share videos of the game, they try to get to the bottom really quickly, and then they try to take out all the tiles and screw over everyone at the top. I've seen players who try to cut off certain pieces of the puzzle so that they can keep as much for their own as possible. I think it's also a very replayable system because of the way that this game balances chance and skill. So with every mobile game that I evaluate, I'm always trying to consider how does the game deal with the chance inherent in the game and the skill inherent in the game? How do those weigh out with one another? So with your typical Fall Guys clones on the app stores, your level of chance is pretty low. There's some chaos with like some obstacles like the ball and stuff, but it's pretty static. The skill also doesn't feel very present because, like I said, you're going long periods of time without really making any choices. It often feels like you just have to get lucky a little bit. But let's look at Hex Stars now. The chance is very prevalent in the sense that the other players in the game can really screw you over. So there's a lot of chances with how good your opponents are, and if they decide to use certain power-ups against you. And the order of the tiles, the way they collapse, also creates prevalent in the sense that this level of chance is very important in the game because it gives you confidence to play the level over and over again. It gives the game a lot of replayability because players are confident that their next playthrough could be a really lucky playthrough where they get all the odds in their favor and they can have a really big win. But skill in these games is also very important because players need to feel like their victories are their own and that their failures are also their own to some level. And as I said, the simple jumping mechanic is amazing. Players who play a lot get really good at tapping on each tile individually in order to maximize the number of time they stay floating up, and also how to use the power-ups against each other. There's so much in terms of getting player and learning all the dynamic strategies and when to apply them based on the situation. So that's a really simple gameplay comparison between the gameplay of your
what's that game called? Silly Race?
Play comparison between the gameplay of your typical Fall Guys clones and your gameplay of Hexstars. I think it's a really good example to learn from in terms of when I'm thinking about gameplay, or when I'm taking gameplay from a different arena and bringing it into a new space, into the mobile space. How do you think about translating that gameplay in a way that makes it work for mobile? So I think it's something that everyone should play and take note of, because I think that this is something that I'm thinking about gameplay, or when I'm taking gameplay from a different arena and bringing it into a new space, into the mobile space. How do you think about translating that gameplay in a way that makes it work for mobile? So I think it's something that everyone should play and take note of, because I think that this is something that we can really learn from. The developers also releasing tons of new content, new skins and new gameplay modes and power-ups and all this stuff, and so I'm really excited to see where the game goes. So that was the very first emoji
It's a lot at the end there.
podcast. I hope you like it. I have a ton of great ideas for episodes going forward. If you have any ideas for things that you'd like me to talk about, or games you want me to play and analyze, please let me know. I would love to play all of your games. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.
Okay.
To play all of your games. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.
So I just need to add some like background music, and I think we're good to go basically. Yeah, and I promise tomorrow will be a regular day of game development. We're hoping to finish what we were working on. I think all the music's in the downloads have like a bunch of copyright-free music. Where is it? Alright, we'll just put this one in the background. So just set the levels of the volume. This is gonna have to be way lower. And my audio will have to be way higher.
Hey, welcome to the first episode of the GameDev podcast. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan, and I'm a mobile game developer working on my own right now. Ever since I was in high school, I was obsessed with the design of casual mobile games. I went to UC Santa Cruz to learn how to make them, and while I was there, I ended up making my first mobile puzzle game called Numbo Jumbo. The game got a lot of downloads, but we didn't really make any money off it. So after that, I got a job at a mobile game developer company in San Francisco. While I was there, I learned an insane amount about mobile game design and development. Looking back at my first game, I realized so many mistakes that I made. It showed me how deep the possibilities of this space are. So in these emoji podcasts, my plan is to kind of each one delve a little bit into the world of mobile game design.
Alright, it's good enough. Let's export. Alright, so I'll take a while. Alright, I know this is a weird stream. It was good to chat though, because I know I wasn't gonna be doing much coding today, but it was good to chat at least and see the updates and talk game design with y'all. I'm gonna go offline and upload this, and I'm gonna be back to my regular streaming schedule from here on in. I'm gonna stop skipping days of game development because I need to keep working on the game. So thanks everyone for joining the chat. Thanks to Madman PS2 and Kessels and the other people that joined, like Little Killer and Eva. So I'm gonna upload this on YouTube, so check it out. My channel is called Emoji Popcasts, so you could search that on YouTube if you want to find it there. I'll also share it to our Discord and our and other social media places. So thanks y'all. Peace out. Hope you have a good day. Have fun game deving, and I'll see you tomorrow.